And away we go. It is the Nightcap brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're in Cheviot on Harrison Avenue. They're right in the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just stay at Hail Mary's. They've got a 27 TV feature in their place. They've got a 9-screen video wall. They have every sports package DirecTV offers. They stream all the games, and all Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. The walk-in cooler is brand new. The draft lines are brand new. And not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but you can get your Cincy Light in a 32.8 degree frosted glass. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. All right, it's Christmas Eve. We don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get everybody something up for Christmas. I just got home from family stuff. Aaron, is that eggnog? You an eggnog guy?
Spiked eggnog, yes.
Well, of course,
Otherwise, there's no reason to be drinking the stuff. But yeah, we just got done with a rousing karaoke night.
There you go.
The oldest decided, hey, let's do family karaoke, and so I had to hit him up with a little "Higher" by Creed and End of the Road by Boyz II Men, and I don't have much of a voice left at this point.
We did a little we do Christmas Eve every year with my mom's family. So hung out with them, played some cars with my little 2-year-old cousin Easton, and we watched Nightmare Before Christmas. And I think they were starting A Christmas Story as we were getting ready to leave. So
we're cleaning up right now and about to play some family poker, apparently. So
nice. You know what I've been tempted to get? Have you seen those new video game, not video game, but board game tables that it's like a glass top table, but you can play Monopoly and Chutes and Ladders and stuff on it, where you can sit around and have family game night.
I know not of what you speak.
It's pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I want to get one. There's just the two of us, so I don't know how much we'd use it, but whatever. Maybe next Christmas. The biggest news of the past couple days, it's been talked about a lot on the boards. I wanted to get a show up on it. And that is obviously Diego Pavia, who is the quarterback at Vanderbilt, sued the NCAA and won, because that's what happens when you sue the NCAA. You win.
Correct.
Yes. All you do is win, no matter what. He was granted an extra year based on the time he spent at his junior college, and the ruling being he couldn't earn money at a junior college, so his NIL was capped. So now he's getting an extra year back to get his NIL. The NCAA basically immediately responded and said, we will grant a waiver to anybody that has junior college experience or non-Division I or non-NCAA experience on their resume. You get an extra year. So immediately that brings to mind Day Thomas from the basketball team. I don't think there's any JUCO guys on the football. I don't think there's anybody with a year in JUCO on the football team.
Not unless any of the new transfers in.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's the case.
I don't remember any of them having JUCO in their background.
I agree.
So I don't think it affects football yet, but it would be very interesting if this basketball team was able to bring Day Thomas back for an extra year. Then yesterday, Ross Dellinger, who covers the NCAA for Sports Illustrated, noted that there was a memo that went out to all of the member institutions. And in that memo, it mentioned, and I've mentioned this a couple times, I've been hearing rumblings of this for a while, that the NCAA is officially looking into 5 for 5. So the way that it works now is you get 5 years of college, you get 4 years of eligibility. So you have to complete those 4 years in the 5-year window. If you complete it in 4 years, then you're done. But essentially, it allows for all 4 years if you take a red shirt. This would eliminate the red shirt, but grant everybody 5 years to play college sports. I'll let you react.
It's bananas to me. I mean, you already currently have devalued incoming high schoolers quite a bit at this point, to where with the transfer portal and all of that, it makes it very difficult for
COVID
high
years.
schoolers. If you are not a more or less a 3-star or better, it's very difficult to find a home. It's going to be even more difficult if you're allowing these guys to stay in school for 5 years. That said, you kind of opened the can of worms when you gave them a COVID year. When you opened up the COVID year and gave kids 5 years just because they were in school during COVID, it's hard.
Well, actually, that gave them 6 years to play 5 in the COVID year, because they just granted everybody an extra year.
I guess that I think that, in my opinion anyway, that's what made it hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube on this entire ordeal.
Somewhat, yeah.
How do you not give guys who are coming in with 4 years, that have seen guys get 5 and 6 years ahead of them, and shatter every NCAA record in the history of NCAA because you had an entire extra season for all of the sports? So take that with a grain of salt. I mean, that's the NFL expanded past 12 games or 10 games or whatever they originally had. Now we're at 17 and all of that. It happens in every sport.
Teams in each conference in the playoff, like
right. It happens in every sport, and that's neither here nor there. My greater point though is just the fact that you've already granted that 5th year, that 6th year in some cases to some kids, and now again, like I said, it's hard to put that toothpaste back in that tube, and so if the NCAA had just gotten out ahead of this about a decade ago, when all of this kind of started to come to light, you could have solved all of these problems before you got sued into oblivion by everyone who brought up a case.
So one of the things that, like, their idea or their reasoning behind doing this is they believe, I don't think it's going to work out this way, but they believe it would eliminate, or at least severely hinder, any future litigation.
Yeah, sure.
That the athletes wouldn't be able to sue anymore, because it would be a level playing ground where everybody gets 5 years until somebody sues them because they want 6 and they win. And then
all you have to do is say that you hindered my NIL when you told me I had to leave.
Yeah. The school I was at, but that's I don't know. That's a school to school thing, not an NCAA thing. So I don't know.
I was going for my doctorate and I was not able to make NIL because you told me I couldn't play anymore. You're in a slippery slope now, because you brought this up in the past week, I think, on one of the shows. I don't even know at this point which one it was. But you brought it up on one of the shows where all you're going to have to do is take a class, a single class. And you're
that's like, I think Des really, his final semester here, because he had already graduated, like, I think he only had to take like 3 credit hours or 6 credit hours, something like that. Just the very bare minimum to be eligible as a graduate student, and it was fine. So,
and how do you tell the guys that they have to be done in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? How do you tell somebody that they have to be done if someone's willing to pay them? And that's the next case. That's going to be the next case. You've opened yourself up to that.
The only thing we've talked about this a million times before. The only thing that is legitimately going to stop it is collective bargaining, where the players have a voice and the NCAA has a voice, and they agree this is, what we agreed to going forward. And then there's really, you can't sue at that point because it's bargained.
Or if you make them state employees. I think that's the other way, and they are gung-ho against that.
Yeah, but I don't even know if making them state employees stops it without collective bargaining, because the athletes will say, yeah, we're employees, but we don't have a seat at the table. We don't have any bargaining power.
Well, and what do you do for private schools? at that point.
Right.
That'd be a whole different ball of
So
wax.
I think really like I don't know if it's going to be collective bargaining by conference, collective bargaining where each school has its own representation, like whatever the case may be, however it's done. The only way you're going to stop the toothpaste is out of the tube. You're not getting it back. But the only way you're going to be able to stop more toothpaste from being squeezed is, I truly believe, collective bargaining, to where everybody sits down at a table and everybody agrees, both sides, where the players have representation. Because let's not kid ourselves, the minute that the first check from revenue share is cut to an athlete, it's pro sports. It already is because of NIL, but when the schools are paying the players, it's pro sports. And the only thing that really makes pro sports work is collective bargaining.
Well,
so
the difference between pro sports and what this is, collegiate sports, is one state funded. And so you cannot file FOIA for pro sports. But we're all going to know what everybody's getting paid here at the collegiate level, because the books are open because you're state funded.
The interesting part for UC is this could essentially mean they have an opportunity to bring the entire team back next year. Now, will they? No. Not everybody is going to come back. Some people will transfer, some people will go to the NBA or try to go to the NBA. Some guys will want to see what their value is on the open market. But this does open up a very real possibility that, like, the top of your roster, if you can figure out a way financially to make it work, you could have Seamus, Dylan, Jizzle, Dan, Aziz, Day, Connor Hickman all return. The only guy I think that would actually be out of eligibility if this happened would be CJ Frederick. So I think he's the only one that's already over 5 years.
It also opens up the real possibility of backdoor deals with JUCO teams to be your farm leagues for some collegiate.
I don't even think you'd have to, so they could just legitimately farm out Cincinnati State to, like, we're going to send our freshmen here for a year and then call them up to the big leagues like after a year or whatever.
I'm any kid who enters the portal at this point, and regardless what sport it is, I'm immediately worried because it's a numbers game and numbers are against you, regardless of what level. But an incoming freshman, that's a tough gig. It's a tough gig, especially right now.
In football. You still need fresh. Like, you're still going to need, because of the numbers game, you're going to need freshmen. Yeah. But basketball, I mean, outside of the top 50, top 75 prospects, like, and even some guys that are in the top 50, top 75, you're going to, like, hear of them signing in the AAC or Conference USA or whatever to go get whatever money they can get and start putting tape out there so they can move up to the big leagues and get the real money. Like, it's going to be a wild deal. Now, in terms of the Cincinnati side of this, the only concern I would have, Aaron, a lot of these guys, we've talked about this in the offseason, right? Like, these guys were getting 7-figure offers and like everybody stayed. There's a lot of guys that probably left some money on the table last year or coming into this year. And if the transfer market explodes like we think it could explode in basketball, it would be very difficult to keep everybody happy under any circumstance. Like, it would get expensive to keep an entire roster like this together for another year. It's not to say it can't be done, but it would not be cheap.
I'd be shocked if all of these guys came back. If your core six that we talk about often came back, even with another year of eligibility, I'd be flabbergasted.
But if you get 4, right? You get 4 and you add Keyshawn Tillery and Sean Abayev into that group, and couple of the younger guys move up the depth chart, then you're still, it creates a lot of interesting scenarios and opportunities that we'll spend a lot of time talking about when we get to the summer. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hopefully we gave you a little something to listen to on your Christmas day as you're bouncing around. We'll see everybody on Thursday. That is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Merry Christmas. See ya.